Mm. Oh, the music is still a little bit loud. It's wild. Okay. Um, I don't know what the hell I want to do right now. Let me check this. Okay. Um, this is a problem I can actually do, at least. Hey, Yush, I'm doing well. How about you? Okay, so I don't know how to derive this in a way that isn't painful, but I'm just going to use this and just at least get the solution to the PDE. And I can worry about the derivation later. Okay, so the unit disk in R2, oops. So, um, we have a radial function, so this is just 0. Why are you doing this to me? How do I want to talk about? I guess we'll do this notation. So we'll do -1. And this was an ODE. So honestly, let's just write it like this. And I guess we do separation of variables. Well, this doesn't separate, does it? It's annoying. It's still linear. Yeah, we can't separate it. Oh well. So what are we doing? Mu is e to the that thing. Just gonna give us r. Really? For reason that feels like a weird integrating factor, but who am I to judge? Integral of r, it's times that function, right? Paul? Wait, I can never remember this. Okay, right. Hey, Stooky. Yep, coordinates. Um, I'm skipping this part because it was just kind of a pain. I think there should be a simpler way, but I can't figure it out. But the first part of the problem is to compute the Laplacian in just radial coordinates, so like not even polar. And I can do it for polar. It's just annoying. And I was trying to figure out a way to not have it be annoying, but I couldn't, so I'm just skipping that part for now. And yeah, so I know what the answer should be, so I'm just skipping the derivation part and going straight to the actual solution. Derivation will be a problem for future me. Hey, Turth. Minus r over 2 plus minus c1 over r. Integrate again. R squared over 4 minus c1 ln r. Absolute value not necessary. R is positive. Plus some other constant. What a stupid looking function. I definitely want to verify. Before I even try to figure out what the constants are, I want to verify this actually is the solution. Softbane streams? Thank you. Welcome in. I generally just put onto the Spotify radio station for a song that I like, and it usually does a good enough job. Okay. Second derivative in r of that is minus a half. Yep. Hey, Hummer. Love math and music. Hell yeah. C1, 1 over r. And then it's going to be plus c1 over r squared. It's always dangerous to do these mentally. I think I did that right, though. So that's that term. Now we need to do this term. Which I should have done. Oh, why didn't I do this term first? Because it would have helped me do. Okay, you know, it's fine. It's fine. C1 over R. And ideally, that should be -1. Minus a half. Plus C1 over R squared. Plus minus a half. Minus C1 over R squared. Looking good. Bam. Okay. Now we need to figure out. We only get one condition from this, don't we? We only know that U of 1 is 0. Ash Scholzen? Yeah, sure. In which functional space am I working? I couldn't tell you the answer to that question, Hummer. I don't know. Thanks for the follow, Slothman streams. U is a radial function, if that's what you're asking about. Just like it sends R1 to R1. It represents a two-dimensional function, but we're assuming it's radial. Let's see at least what our one boundary condition gives us. I have to, the hell I do. I'm good. This is homework. If they're not asking me to do that, I'm not gonna do it. ln of 1 is 0. So at least we're going to get an answer for C2. Hey, color cone. So Ash, I assume there's another part to that question, because there's not much to do with that equation on its own. Okay, so at least we know C2. I don't think it's possible to figure out C1. I'm supposed to... Well, there's not much to simplify. Like, what are... Like... So, you have capital X equals root capital Z over root capital Y. There's really not much to do with this. If it makes you happy, you can use exponent rules to rewrite it like this, but that's... Whether that's simpler is kind of a matter of opinion. So I think I'm maybe missing some information because I don't know what else to really do with this. Like maybe X, Y, and Z have a specific meaning in your context that I don't know. Make it so X... Okay, so you want to isolate Z. That we can do. Okay, so I... Definitely the first step I would do is... since Z is right here, I want to get rid of this Y on the bottom. So I'm going to multiply each side of the equation by root Y. Hey, Quinter. Hope you're doing well. That'll make these two things cancel. So on the left side, we get x root y is equal to root z. And the only other thing to do here is we need to get rid of the square root on the z. Yeah, I'm doing all right. And so to do that, the opposite of square root is squaring. So I'm going to square each side. On the right side, we just get z. On the left side, this power of 2 kind of, it distributes to each of these things. So we get x squared, and then root y becomes just y. Oh, that's true. I didn't even think about that. I watched the launch and it was pretty sick. I didn't watch it live, but I would add a caveat that you need to be careful when you have an equation you square each side. Technically, because we started with this, we should require that y and z are not negative numbers. But yeah, other than that, I would say that this is your answer. Just because we're not allowed to take square roots of negatives unless you're doing complex analysis, and I assume you're not. I wonder what time is the Artemis actually splashing down? Splashdown time soon. They're streaming now? Maybe we'll have that up in the background and check in on it. Google AI says it's in like an hour and 10 minutes. If you trust frickin' Google AI. Okay. We've got it up. Dude, this would be... Oh, man. Just imagine being on that spaceship and just seeing the Earth coming at you like that. Um. Oh yeah, I did get the badge in that emote. When they're doing the circle around. Where is it? I'm trying to find it. There it is. This one. Let me stop ignoring color cone. Determinant of Hess of F equals G for G given. What is the determinant of the Hessian? In 2 dimensions. You put a lol, so I know this is a meme, but I'm kind of curious what that actually looks like. No. Cool, Quinner. I like being thrown off track. Um, the Monge-Ampere equation. Oh, okay. Um, yeah, that determinant doesn't look like anything that particularly simplifies. This is a nonlinear PDE. Yeah, uh, good luck with that. Famously nonlinear, fair. Used for optimal transport and prescribing Gaussian curvature. Huh. Okay, so with this radar problem, I don't know how the heck we can possibly determine C1. I don't think we can get any other conditions from this. Like, I don't know how you should be at the origin. That's what we would really want. Um, I'm also still ignoring this part of the question because I really don't want to do that. I don't want to do any of this PDE's homework, man. Wait, why did I say u of 1 equals 1? U of 1 equals 0. Not a big difference, at least. So with exponents and premix provide in different ways? Oh, nice. If you have any other questions, feel free to let me know. Analytical results for some G's? I wonder. That's a good question. I would be surprised since it's so weird looking, but maybe. I know nothing about nonlinear PDEs. Hmm. I guess r equals 0 isn't the right thing to think about. Like, I wonder, maybe I shouldn't be assuming r is positive. Should r of -1 also be 0? Could that give us another... Well, no, that's going to get rid of c1 still. Never mind. I don't know how to get the other constant here. If you have 3 to the y times 3 equals 81, you can multiply them, making them 9 times 3 to the y minus 1. Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, I think that's maybe not how I would think about it, but I think you're doing things right. I would think about that one as like, so you have 3 to the y times 3 equals 81. I would divide this 3 over to the other side. Uh, 81 divided by 3 is 27. And then I would notice that 27 is the same thing as 3 cubed. And then just, we know that since the bottoms of these match, so should the exponents. So y would equal 3. Yeah, it's the Poisson equation on the disk, basically. It, there's also another part to this with computing what the Laplacian looks like in just radial coordinates. I skipped that because I can't figure out the simple way of doing it. I know the complicated way of doing it fully in polar coordinates, but I feel like there should be a shortcut for radial, but I can't find it. X to the y times z. That's a true statement, yeah. For like, you could write the left side like that if you wanted to. I chose to start working with this problem because I thought I could actually do it, but now I'm I'm stuck with this one really annoying step that I should be able. But like this shouldn't. This isn't the hard part of the problem, but I don't know what to do with it. I'm trying to figure out if we know something about like if we know the maximum is obtained on the boundary, like there should be a minimum at the origin. I did, yeah. It's this annoying looking function here. Um, I guess the issue is that there's two constants. I can only determine C2 because I can only oops, that's I can only figure out one boundary condition. Do we know something about the first derivative? The first derivative is 0, isn't it? On the boundary? Well, ooh, does that help? Or no, it's not. No, it's not 0 on the boundary. C1 is 0? Why? Oh, okay. That that does make sense. Because I was wondering about like Ellen blowing up to infinity. Okay, thank you. And that's like a maximum value principle thing, right? I think. Or minimum. You like rewriting math problems when you add 1 divided by x divided by y to rewrite them y equals 0 or x or y equals 0. Oh, yeah, I think it's kind of like a cheesy way to get around dividing by 0. Not be smooth. I mean, yeah, okay, it definitely wouldn't be like differentiable at 0, if that's what you're meaning by that, but argue realistic solution. That's true. This is a physical problem. The internal torsion of a circular plate, whatever that is. So it definitely shouldn't be infinity at 0 or negative infinity. I assume, I don't know what E would be. I guess use torsion. I don't know what torsion is though. Solution is bounded by a constant times the L2 norm of the function. Oh, fair enough. Hummer. Okay. Aside from the issue with actually deriving the Laplacian and radial coordinates, I guess I'm happy with this problem. Then I can go through and do the entire thing in polar coordinates. This is half the computation here. And like basically like what I'm going to do for this, unless I figure out better ways to do the thing in polar coordinates and then just say this term equals 0. It'd be nice to find a shortcut, but it's not that important. Since C1 over R is not square integrable on D, not possible. Okay, fair enough. Clonk. Lady Luck will soon visit you. Ooh. Lucky you. Okay. Let's figure out another problem to work on from this homework. Also, let's look at the... Oh, this is just like the simulation. I don't think this is the actual thing. Sounds good, Ash. Thanks for being here. Thank you for the follow. In case you're interested in math streams in general, I do like to let people who are new around here know that there's a whole niche of us here on Twitch who do math. I don't know if anyone else is going to be streaming today, but I think Eats the Toy Pie will be streaming tomorrow. Actual education also. Maybe not actual education, but yeah, I'm not saying like go through and follow every last person in this list unless you want to, but I'd like to make sure people are aware that the math niche is out there. Yeah, Clunk. Hope your day's going well. That's a lot of knobs. Okay. So we did number 5 from this homework. I need to figure out what the hell to do about problem 1. It's not like it's only tangentially related. Like this is just a probability problem. It has an interpretation in PDEs, but like this is just straight up probabilities. Um, it was all right, Clunk. Nothing special happened, but nothing bad happened. Sorry, something was happening outside. My lights always end up on purple. I want to mix it up. How does yellow look? Kind of orangey. It's not bad though. Um, this is the main one that I've been trying to think about from this homework. I I just don't know enough about what the hell an integral over a ball actually is. Yeah, this is my issue. I don't know what this. I need to know what a Lebesgue integral is. I think is my issue, and I don't. Int bf is equal to int rn f times slash. Oh no, sorry, times chi of b. Yeah, that those are letters and symbols, all right. Um, the thing I'm getting confused on is uh if I just delete this part of the integral, is y like a two-dimensional function? Like that's my issue. That's what I really don't understand here, because u sends a, a vector of length 2 to a scalar, but y is just a single thing. I don't know what this means. I guess it's should I be thinking about it like element wise? X squared, well, maybe x1, x2. Chi b is 0 outside of b and 1 on b. Oh, okay. But yeah, so I don't know. uh I went and asked the professor in office hours, like just before I went live, and like this is what he told me. I didn't ask him specifically about like the like what it means to integrate over a ball, because he expects us to just know that, and I don't feel comfortable asking him what it means. I know the intuition for what it means. I don't actually know what it means though. I know it's a convolution with y squared. I don't know what to do with that though. Uh, the hint he gave me overall on the problem was look through the class notes and ask if there's anything we covered that's helpful. And it seemed like he was implying that this is probably not true, but I really, I could go either way. Yeah, so my issue is I don't even know like how to name a counterexample and how to actually calculate an integral like with this. Um yeah, I don't know. I was hoping to like since I don't know what to do with interpreting as a convolution, I then tried like multiplying the x minus y squared out. Um but I don't really know what to do with those two things. Can obtain a contradiction using the mean value property. I have no clue how that will be done. X minus y squared is less than or equal to 1 on the unit ball. Well, y is in the unit ball. The x is anything. Actually, wait. Hmm. U of y. No, never. Or if u of y is a scalar, x and y must also be scalars? Have I just been thinking about this wrong? Yeah, the parentheses. Stokes 2 times to make the divergence on the boundary appear? I know it Stokes about like divergence or integrating the divergence same as integrating the flux. Um, I I don't know what to do with Stokes though. I don't know. Um, oh, wait. Integration by parts on this? That seems like an idea. I don't know. I feel like this note that I wrote is useless and I should just delete it. I'm going to put it down here. I'm just going to assume that integration by parts works the exact same way in this context with balls. Teehee. Y integral u of y dy. I don't really know what this means. Well, isn't this a double integral now? Take the derivative of u? But then I'm going to integrate y. Maybe I can get a cancellation with that y squared. Hey, girl out of small. This is terrible notation. I'm going to say w. No, there can never be a cancellation because of the because of the x in front. Still don't know what this means. Unless that evaluating it over a ball, whatever that means, somehow saves this. Actually, well, never mind, it won't. Yeah, I'm sorry, Hummer. I have no clue with this. I I don't really know what this part means at all that I've written. Yeah, simple math is it's much simpler, you might say. Um I have no clue what I'm doing with this homework. Can I try and okay, I feel like I should be able to to do this. I'm just, the thing that's going to confuse me is I'd never seen um an a random variable be a vector, and I guess we can do it separately for each component, but that seems weird. You get integral of the sphere of div u prime y. U prime is gradient. Hmm. Copy that down just so I can think about it later, but I don't know. I just don't have the fucking background to understand what the hell this professor is even asking. Maybe we can figure out how to write the PDF for this. I just want to see it for a regular uniform distribution. I need to actually bring the problem into my journal plus plus. So can I say f of theta is the vector cosine theta sine theta, or 0 less than theta less than 2 pi? And this is already normalized, I guess, because cosine squared plus sine squared is 1. I don't like that. I feel like one of these shouldn't be or equal to, but oh well. It's not going to matter for integration, I guess. And so I do know, I was Googling this last night. I do know that the PDF of a sum of random variables is their convolution. Hmm. Hey Visai, welcome in. Do they talk about... Oh, maybe it's here. What is G? Okay, it's a function of x. That is a vector. What's going on with the... Oh. Wait, oh, no. Uh, Never mind. I thought I was showing the wrong screen, but... Oh my god. This is so laggy. Can I just turn this chat off? There we go. Much more peaceful. It's not moving. So... The hint is compact is supported in a disk of radius 2 centered at the origin, and it is obviously radial. Obviously. I'll be able to make some progress in this problem, but now I feel like I'm even more lost than before. Complex numbers over the weekend. What's your context? Are you like a high school student, university student? Like, what kind of class are you in? Okay, so yeah, I assume you're just kind of doing you're not doing uh like calculus with complex numbers, which is good to know. Um, if you want to talk about something specific, feel free to ask me, but I'm trying to think of a resource that I can point you to. I wonder if MIT OpenCourseWare has one. Let's find out together. Ooh, not that one. My worry with this is that it might be more advanced than what you're doing. But maybe like the early part of even these advanced classes would still be helpful. Damn it. Wait. Never mind. Yeah, that like I don't even know what book they're using, unfortunately. Okay, I think MIT OpenCourseWare is a bust. The stuff they're gonna have is too advanced. Um, like we could try this other one, I guess, just see what is there. Hmm. What about uh this website has textbooks that are free and legal. I wonder if they have a complex. Hmm. This is annoying. Why is there so little information about complex numbers? Uh, it's a complex topic. It really is. Okay. Surely there's lectures on YouTube that would help with this, right? YouTube has everything. Um, the issue is that these are all going to be more advanced than you need. IBHL. Oh, it's just high level math. Okay. Uh, I wonder if we can find something specific to IB. Okay, this is the type of stuff that I would think that you'd be doing. So yeah, I can drop the link at least to this site. You, I feel like there should be like more information on this than we found, but it doesn't seem like there's that much, to be honest. I guess if you search specifically IB, some things will come up on YouTube. Hmm. I don't know. Yeah. This Google search is the best that I can do for you, I think. Sorry. That's weird that there isn't more, but good luck, I guess. Uwu. Hey, Vossen. Got about 30 minutes until touchdown. Thanks for the follow. Oh, yeah, and since you're a new face, I want to shout out that there's a whole math niche on Twitch. It's not just me. That's the kind of list of people that I generically recommend. There's even more than just that. So whenever I see someone who's new, I just like to let them know that we exist here on Twitch. And if you're interested in this sort of thing, you should have to like take a look around because there's some cool people in this like community. I did. I got it when they were doing the circle around the moon. Yeah, so I'm not saying like go and follow every last person in that list, but like the ones who are being especially active like recently are like Eats the 2i Pie, Ian Stuckey, Intiplex Pachinko, and Actual Education are the ones who I've been seeing like the most sharing the most consistently over the last like few weeks. Even just like the math category on Twitch, or just like search math on Twitch if you're ever in the mood to watch a math stream. I might pay to switch gears right now. I don't know how to do any of this shit. Dude, I never hear whenever Twitch is giving away emotes or badges. I only ever find out when someone like pops up in my chat or someone else's chat with them. You're going to bed? All right, thanks for saying hi. Hope you sleep well. Uh, so this is my calculus variations homework. I was doing it probably 2 days ago now. Maybe it was yesterday. And not a single problem was working out right. um, I kept for the first. I tried the first three problems, and for all of them, I got stuck with something that's clearly wrong. Um. Oh yeah. So this is It's honestly not as bad as it looks. It's just like certain types of math just always look really crazy. Um. This is a type of math called calculus of variations. And like to put it simpler, um is it answers questions about optimization. So like a famous problem from the calculus of variations is called I almost call the brachistochrome problem, but the solution to it is called the brachistochrome curve. And the question is basically if you start at a height A and end at a height B that's lower, and the gravity is the only thing that's influencing you, what's the path that gets you there the fastest? Like imagine like if it's just a straight line, imagine like putting a ball at the top of this ramp and timing it as it slides down the ramp. It's like that's one possible path. Or you could also do a path like that. Like I don't know why this would be better, but as it turns out, the optimal path is it looks something like that, and it's called actually let's just Google it because it's I think the Wikipedia page for it has a nice little graphic. Histochrone curve. Um, yeah, here. So I assume this black path is the optimal one. So this black ball will get to the end first. Oh, okay. They chose some weird. This actually, I'm not a big fan of this graphic. The more I look at it, but um, is this more like what I was hoping for? Yeah. Okay. This is more. Oop. So like the optimal path is this red line that curves, but and then they compare it with just like a ramp and then I guess like a straight line path. And the point is that the one on the red curve is like the fastest. But yeah, so it is a pretty cool thing. It's like you're maximizing functions instead of maximizing just like a single number. 20 minutes until splashdown. I got the stream up. There's not much to see right now, I guess, but I didn't know that you were into the space stuff, Central. I know. I even have that and uh the emote. I got it when they were doing the flyby by the moon. But yeah, so I assume you don't know differential equations or calculus yet, Visai. Maybe you do know calculus, but it's not a big leap from just like regular calculus. Oh, you do. Nice, nice. So yeah, like I mean, it gets complicated. We're still early on in the class, but what a lot of it comes down to is you do a bit of work, which is the part that'll be difficult to understand, but then you just end up with a regular differential equation to solve. So this is like this looks complicated because of the constants, but it's just basically y double prime is equal to some constant a, and that's a differential equation you can solve really quickly. 32 times the speed of sound. How can people not be into that? That's true. Okay, I need to grab my notes. What are we doing with this question? You know how much plasma is you falling down the stairs? Is that like a blood joke? At first I thought you meant like you just go down the stairs that fast, but no, plasma is also like whatever that stuff is in your blood or next to your blood or something. Oh, okay, that. Well, I figured it out eventually. He says, "Oh, well, because people like in America, like you can get paid for donating your plasma. So I guess you're not really donating; you're selling. And it's like, but you can also go to donate your blood, and you can't get paid for that. So I assume they're two different things. But like, I think plasma is also red, and it comes out of your veins. So I don't know what the difference is." The funny part of that is that 90% of my class probably go to university math extremely comfortably. That's on that 90% of that 90% doesn't understand load scale math teacher last year was terrible. That's how it goes. You have so much. Okay, well, you know what? You made it as yellow? I maybe I haven't seen plasma then. Oh, what the hell? It's all the colors of the rainbow. They're like Skittles. Don't eat those Skittles, please. Well, the more you know. Actually, wait. Check the stream again. Oh my god, this would be so terrifying. Plasma doesn't get filtered into filtrate by the kidneys. Fun facts. The kidneys need 20% of your cardiac output. That's a lot of our cardiac output. Those freeloaders. The only admissible C2 extremal. The corresponding basic problem. My renal pelvis? Ooh. Is that actually like in your butt? Or does it just sound like it's in your butt? No? Okay. What a letdown, dude. Um, Kidney? Oh, okay. C2 extremal. I think we're being asked to show the Lagrange condition or Legendre condition and maybe the Jacobi. So f hat y prime y prime. Let's just start with f y prime y prime. Renal pelvis, ureter, bladder, then urethra. Ew. Then my mom. Ugh. She's freaky? Apparently. Didn't know my mom was into that type of stuff. 1 minute until re-entry? Did they move up the time schedule? No? Oh, they're gonna start re-entering in a minute, but they're not gonna touch down for 20? I re-entered your mom and then I splashed down last night. Hope that helps. Did she swallow? She did everything. Okay, oh my god, Central. Oh, that's a late first. Hour and 20 minutes. Echo, welcome in. I haven't studied functional analysis for myself. I have a professor who expects us to know that for a PDEs class that I'm taking, and that's not a prerequisite, so I'm a little fucked. I have heard that it's one of the hardest things that, like, a lot of math graduate students encounter. That's true, Central. I shouldn't try to outgross you. So yeah, I don't know much about it, Echo. I wish I did, because I'm paying the price now. Oh, trying to avoid this at any cost. Yeah, so I'm an applied math student, but for a reason, our professor just loves including measure theory and functional analysis at every opportunity. Papadoria, yeah, functional analysis mentioned. If you want someone to commiserate with, though, e to the 2I pi graduated with his PhD. Oh, coming up on a year ago now. But I remember him specifically calling out the functional class analysis class he did as like one of the toughest that he ever did. Measure theory is goated though. I need to get a crash course in measure theory. I should maybe look up a lecture. I was gonna try and find a textbook, but I've got to learn what it means to integrate over a ball. I hope that's not deep into measure analysis or measure theory. Functional is the hardest I've ever taken aside from this pediatric class I'm taking. Checks out. Actually, yeah, Echo, since I see you're a first time chatter, you might, and you're probably a grad student. Measure and integration theory is my best course so far. Fair enough. Whenever I see a new face, which actually there've been a lot of new faces tonight, which is good to see. I do like to let them know that there's a math niche that exists here on Twitch, and I know this is a long list. I don't expect you to follow every last person there, but this niche exists on Twitch, and it's really cool. So whenever I see a new person, I'd like to make sure that they know that we exist. Um, you are a grad student or interested in math streams or both of those. Um, yeah, so like the people who have been especially active in the last few weeks are like Actual Education, Ian Stuckey, E to the 2I pi, and Simplex Pachinko is just getting back into it. Like all of us kind of come and go through phases, but first semester of your bachelor's, minor is so you're doing functional analysis in undergrad. That's wild. I didn't know that was like a thing that people did in undergrad, especially as a fourth semester student. I I tip my cap to you. Yeah, so I'm a master's student uh studying applied math, and I'm gonna assuming I don't like crash and burn, I'll be graduating in June. Master in math. Yep. This this is this is just a visualization. I don't want to see a visualization. I want to see the actual footage. It's just 5 credits. The diploma students from the year before had 10. That must be a different type of credits than what I'm used to. What I'm used to is like an undergrad class is like 3 credits and a grad class is like 5 credits. Or something like that. But yeah, no, even at the undergrad level, I'm sure functional analysis I would find it very difficult too. Okay, this is a, a little bit lame if we only get to see a visualization. Oh, Germany. That makes sense. Yeah, university is quite different in different countries, so that checks out. This needs chain rule. Is that the right chain rule? Yeah. I'm going to multiply this in 4y prime cubed minus 4y prime. Oh, the thing I'm writing in? The program is called Journal++. And to write with, I have a writing like tablet. No worries. Okay. Oh, well, that's not good. When I plug in y prime equals 0, I'm supposed to get a positive number, and I'm getting a negative number. God, fuck this homework. Nothing I'm doing is coming out right. Whew. Did I do this derivative right? Let me do it a second time. But instead of... I'm going to multiply this thing out. 1 minus 2y prime squared plus y prime to the 4th. Minus 4y prime plus 4y prime cubed. Y prime, oop. Minus 4 plus bruh. Oh. Got shaky cam footage. It's like a horror movie. Watching a stream, we sure are. I don't usually do this, but this is such an interesting thing that I don't really want to miss it. Oh, that would be a weird feeling. I never even thought about that. I guess they'd be strapped into their chairs so that, well, no, that you would still feel it even if you're strapped into a chair. That's the thing you're probably feeling more is like you're probably being pushed back into your chair just from like how fast you're going. Oh, the parachute. So I guess oh, true. Three minutes and 10 seconds to splash down. Is that a cloud in the background or like what is that? Why is it so staticky? Okay, maybe I'll keep the audio going. I just want to see them actually touch the ocean, and then I'm happy. But that's not going to be for another 2 minutes, I think. Um, main chute deployed. 5,000 feet. Actually, okay. You know what? We'll just yeah. Give it another 2 minutes. It's fine. Oh, yeah. We can see the waves now. I don't know if that was waves, but before Pikachu deployed. Yeah, I think the last time I was watching a stream on stream was when not the one that's currently happening, but when the last chess candidates tournament was happening, because that was in a way better time zone for Americans. Those candidates has gotten kind of boring though. Anyway. So he's making some mistakes. I was making up the worst case scenarios with the accident left the moon's orbit, flew off into outer space. That is a terrifying thought. Suna, yeah. I wanted to stream, but I didn't want to miss the splashdown. So we're taking a few minutes away from math to watch it. I guess thankfully now they have a bunch of humans hopefully catching each other's mistakes. So oh, nailed it. I'm holding up a 10. Shit, Rog Ocean. Yeah, that is a really cool thing, Central, that like they didn't need to use their engines on the way back. Like it's all calculated out, but what if they made a mistake? Dude, like they must be so different as humans now, those astronauts. Like just that their perspective. Like they've been farther away from Earth than any other human. No, I. This is stupid to mention it because they're not even like actual astronauts. The one I've seen is like the Jeff Bezos and William Shatner one, where like Bezos completely shits on Shatner. And they pass the dark side. Chance for the apocalypse movies to become reality. True. Are they funny? I'll have to look some up. Well, that's awesome. Astronauts when there and back safely. You love to see it. When hell of a green screen. True. True. I would imagine being responsible for losing 4 people because I accidentally wrote the variable in the exponent not a factor. Yeah. Like, ooh, we accidentally sent you guys to Mars instead. See ya in 2 years. Um, can we at least do part B of this question? I don't know why part A isn't working. Sounds good, Visai. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure, if they get too far off track, they can just go out for a spacewalk in their spacesuit and just kind of like swim, and they can just like pull the ship along with them. It'd be fine. But that's how space works. Oh wait, so it is valid to do the problem in 2 different subintervals. I was wondering that from a different problem. No worries, girl, let us know. So I'm probably gonna go eat soon for myself. This this I don't want this to be a long stream. I've said that before, and it ends up being a long stream, but I'm already feeling hungry. Space Shuttle Challenger disaster is horrible. The worst part about it is the people who designed the rocket tried to stop launch because they discovered the O-ring seals wouldn't hold up to different temperatures the night before. They were ignored. I didn't know that part of it. Damn. I just knew that like it exploded, but I didn't realize that they figured it out the night before. Cat for the short stream. I know. I it's not the first time I've said that and not done a short stream. I usually don't start the stream feeling hungry though, and I did do that. Politics got in the way of saving them. That makes sense. Space race, Cold War stuff. Okay. Let's start off with lesson X, lesson a half. The president at that time wouldn't let them stop. It was in the 70s, right? Maybe. Oh god, I'm gonna expose my ignorance. Who was before Reagan? Carter. It probably wasn't Carter though. And then it was like LBJ. Dude, fucking hell. I don't know. That I'm sure that there's a Wikipedia page about this. Oh, it was 86, so it would have been Reagan. Criticized NASA's organizational structure, decision-making process contributed to the accident. NASA managers disregarded engineers' warnings. That's fair enough, Central. I imagine, like, people wouldn't get too... Like, this is enough in the past. People wouldn't get too annoyed about it, but some people might. Damn. Were there 7 people on the rocket? Yeah, wow. It's probably cramped in there. Yes, I mean, my skimming of the Wikipedia page makes it sound like it was NASA managers, but who knows what conditions they were working under. One of them was a teacher, true. Well, that's a less fun fact, but still interesting. Oh, actually, we don't need to do intervals yet. D by dx of the partial of that thing with respect to y prime, which I already calculated there. 4y prime cubed is equal to the partial derivative of f with respect to y, but there's no y, so we just set equal to 0. And we're letting y of 0 equal y of 1 equal 0. Rather than taking the derivative of this, let's integrate both sides. You know what? Professor said something about, like, if this function only involves y prime, you always get a linear answer. And I guess we are getting, we're going to get a linear. I don't know why. I know we're going to get a linear function on the right side here, but why does that mean y is going to be linear? How do I solve this piece of shit? Okay, maybe I should look at the notes for... Where do we do this linear thing in class? Actually, wait. I don't need to do this. Also, I integrated too early. No, I didn't. All I need to do is plug these into this. Making this too complicated on myself. Okay, so between 0 and a half, d by dx. Oh, is this why it's always linear? Because we're gonna get constants inside of here. -4 plus 4 equals 0. Wow, it even zeroes out before you take the derivative. Oh wait, I'm doing part 2 before I do part 1. You know, why go in order when you can also not? Um, but I think I answered my own question about why is it always a linear function when your function only involves y prime. It's more about plugging in and just seeing that it works, I think. Peak music, thank you, thank you. Satisfies the two end conditions and is continuous at x equals a half. Y sub p of 0 is equal to 0. That checks out. Y sub p of 1 is also equal to 0. That checks out. Y sub p of a half is equal to a half and a half. Okay, that's easy. The strengthened Legendre condition, hence minimize the performance index. Okay, this is where things are gonna get tricky. Tricky dicky. Holding? I guess I'm not holding. This is fy prime y prime. I plug in y sub p. We're gonna get a piecewise function. So y prime in the first one is 1. NVM? Okay. And then it's -1 in the second one, but that doesn't make a difference because it gets squared anyway. Didn't recognize your 1, thought you wrote 2y prime in your second derivative. Oh, okay. Americans, yep. Can't stand them. The thing that always gets me with how Europeans rate things is intervals. Where like Americans might write like 1, 2 for closed and 1, 2 for open. And I think in Europe, closed is the same, but then open looks like this. And I think this is the most stupid looking thing ever. Oh, really? Maybe it's different countries in Europe. There's definitely some countries in Europe that do that. Maybe it's not Germany though. Really? Okay. I don't I don't remember what country I've seen it. Yeah, and there's something else that I think there's something there's something else that's like a lot more subtle that Americans do differently that is really easy to get confused with how Europe does it. Honestly, I was gonna guess France anyway. But also, yeah, you know, you're not the first German in this chat who's ragged on France. um, what is JY sub P? From 0 to 1 of Y sub P. Oh, color code for writing, Americans would write the, and I guess Germans too, would write this to mean an open interval or sometimes a point. But I'm talking about this would be like an open interval. And we're guessing it's France that writes it like this. I can't remember what European country does it with the reversed brackets. That's, wait, so you're saying it's correct to do it the backwards bracket way? Because no, those are fighting words. I think it looks so dumb. I get that, you know, it with the parentheses you could get it mixed up with just a regular point, but like, I don't know. It just looks stupid. Zimbabwe has to be the truth. Well, Bourbaki does it. Yeah, I don't really ever mix it up either. It's usually clear from the context. An eighth plus a half minus a half minus an eighth. Ugh, fraction math. 3/8. Oh, the commas and decimals thing. I forgot about. Yeah, I'm not a fan of switching the commas and decimals. First week in English math department, I got confused by one of my homework questions that had the parentheses. Yeah. Wait, really? For points? You use a semicolon? Oop. Oh my god, that's all wrong. Semicolons look like eyes. Oh, as like a tuple? Hmm. That's something you can't control. You need to use colons. 2,3 is a point, 2.3 is a rational number. Sorry. I do wonder where that difference came from. Like, when did things get switched? But yeah, I can figure out from context if it like usually what someone means when if they like tell me about this number, I assume that they're just European. In French, 1,000 is 1,000. Wait, that's the same in English. Like, We use commas for big numbers. I mentioned some European who thought they were really smart, like Fahrenheit. Yeah, that's true. Or feet and inches. Okay, J of YC. YC is just 0, so hopefully this will be a really quick calculation. Oh, I did this wrong. Bruh. I'm not integrating Y, I'm integrating F. Okay. In this interval, Y prime is 1. So it's 0. In this interval, Y prime is -1, which still zeroes out. Okay. 0 is a pretty dang good minimum, especially when you can't have negatives. And we're comparing that to, this is P. IC prime, dx, integral 0 to 1. 1 minus 0 squared, which is just 1. There we go. Finally, I can do a problem from this and it actually works out the way it's supposed to. Well, except for part A. We use P to separate numbers. Let's be real. We study math. When was the last time you ever wrote a 7? Wait, a 7? Do you mean like a 7? Like a 7-digit number? Yeah, sure. Math engines like never do that. Wrote a normal uppercase R today. It felt so wrong. I mean, I got to that decently, or like often enough for like radius. I've definitely had to get, I wouldn't say I'm good at it, but I've gotten a lot of practice doing that double R now. I'm usually trying to do them quickly, and they don't come out too good. Natural number n is kind of annoying though. I never do that one right. Unless it's 2, it's just annoying. Tweaking out, trying not to add the other line. Yeah. Okay. I still don't know what the deal is with part A. We're just gonna do we're gonna go on to a different question though. Oh, you do that. I've seen that too. Not now that I think about it. That's probably easier to do. Hmm. Also, this is easier to write, I think. Because I hate how I never connect them up here. And that bothers me. I don't get as bothered with this, though. Or it's a lot easier to, like, have them all be connected. Before Ignaz was writing those damn Cs, yeah. I did that with, or one of my professors in my undergrad really liked them for, eigenvectors when we were doing dynamical systems. We'd have vectors, Cassie. And like, there's nothing good about this. Smooth flight path problem. Oh, I need to. Ugh. Let me bring up that homework assignment. Oh, okay, yeah. For that one, it was e to the minus y over h root 1 plus y prime squared. H is some positive number. I think we should replace the use of Greek letters in math by symbols in the Hebrew alphabet. Yeah, we like. That's honestly not a bad idea. I don't know how the Hebrew alphabet looks, but we do use Aleph. Well, if you're in that niche, you use Aleph. The way English pronounce Greek letters in an English way. Yeah, wrong for that. It's P and not pi. This is P. I'm not saying P. What? If there's a P, there needs to be a poo. Yeah, on P day. We are all over the place with how we pronounce Greek letters. I'll absolutely give you that. Because I have heard at least 3 different ways to pronounce this. I've heard C, I've heard Kissi, I've heard Kisai. Is there anything else? I think those are the 3. I've heard Phi and I've heard Phi. We say Kissi. We also say P in French. Really? Remind me not to go to Germany or France on March 14th. Well, actually, no, you'd be safe there because Pi Day's only like it's only really a thing in America, right? Because we say 3/14, everyone else says 14/3. And I is a double E over here. Okay, fair enough. And I feel like we should really be asking the Greeks how they pronounce it. But I think we all just like to make up our own pronunciations. Let's do this one derivative at a time. Then I guess we're quotient ruling for the second derivative. Ugh. Low D high. Low D high is 1 minus high D low over low squared. Okay. Minus y prime squared. 1 plus y prime squared to the 3/2. Girl, as small? No, you're good. Stay as shorter or as long as you like. Okay, and so the point here is that that bad boy is greater than or equal to 0. This bad boy is greater than 0. So we are greater than 0, and we're good. Okay, B. Jacobi equation. You take everything back. About the Greek letters? So the Jacobi equation in general looks like this, where q is some function that I don't feel like writing out right now. I suppose when we pronounce them like in Greek over here, spoiler, no, we are not. You know, that makes me feel happy. Like, I'm glad that Americans aren't the only ones butchering Greek letter pronunciation. I think we just calculated. Oh, I don't want to do another derivative of this, though. Hopefully we can avoid it. We might not have to explicitly calculate this derivative. That would make me sad. Okay, so Q is FYY. So 1 over H squared. E to the minus Y over H. It's C. Okay. Well, you're 1 for like 23 or whatever, at least, if nothing else. And then it's minus d by dx of fy prime y. So we'll take this derivative with respect to y. Differentiate. I can feel Femvox's spidey senses tingling that I said derive as a verb when I meant differentiate. Partial differential equations, people tell me that isn't very ordinary. No, it's not. Oh yeah, I saw PDEs in my title and I rage quit doing PDEs. Hope we're doing well, Megalomorph. I mean, to be fair, I mean, I guess I haven't learned enough about partial differential equations. But I do like them. Maybe I won't like them by the end of my class. This is calculus of variations homework. So this is like the Jacobi accessory equation, which is like, it's a special case of the Euler-Lagrange equation that you use to check that your extremal is indeed a minimum. I would like to avoid doing either of these derivatives. But yeah, I was absolutely planning to spend this stream working on the PDE homework, and then I like it just was not going well. Hardly made any progress, so again, let's just switch gears. That's a good question. What are we currently doing? Wait, let me see. Actually, I mean, I can even just show the homework assignment that we're currently doing. We've just been talking about harmonic functions, and their various like properties. This is the homework assignment that I was just doing at the start of the stream that I got stuck on. A lot of just like maximum principle, mean value property, regularity. Um, we just proved that harmonic functions are infinitely differentiable. And we actually, that's the thing before last we did. The thing we really did last are gradient estimates. Because harmonic functions have an upper bound on the magnitude of their derivatives based on the actual value of the function at that point, or in a neighborhood of that point. But yeah, this class has been a real struggle. This is only the end of the second week, but the professor thinks that we know measure theory and functional analysis, and we don't. At least I don't. Oh right, yes. I remember we talked about it a little bit in my complex analysis class. Yeah, the only problem I was actually mostly able to do is problem 5. Everything else I'm pretty much stuck on. But I'll maybe eventually figure it out. I'm gonna have to go to the TA's office hours because the professor's office hours are not going to be helpful for actually solving the homework. But yeah, like the stuff that we're learning is cool. I just wish that the professor assumed less of us. um. Okay, how does without actually doing derivatives? How does this product rule look? Fembox, speak of the devil. What is that emote? Oh, nice. Hope you're doing well. I literally just used derive instead of differentiate, and I thought about you and how you would have yelled at me if you heard it. um, d by dx to the minus y over h. H prime. That is absolutely your legacy. Oh. Oh. Wait, am I getting this definition wrong? Playing Metroidvania right now. There are 2 paths you can take. You're stuck on bosses on both paths. Oh no. Which one is it? Oh, and Fenbox, if you are still listening, uh, the stuff that we were learning about in when we were studying electricity and magnetism, um, is it all it or at least not all of it. Like a lot of what we learned about electrostatic potential just comes from PDEs and the fact that uh the potential is harmonic. A lot of stuff that we were doing is like so much more general than what we learned about in that context. It was really like cool to realize that um The stuff we were learning about in my PDs class was actually, I sort of already learned it just through learning E and M. The Devil Within SatGat. Never heard of it, got in a bundle. Yeah, never heard of that one either. What equation am I looking for? Jacobi equation. No, I got the definition right. Yeah, and I don't think we did as a group, but I remember there's one question uh about the relaxation method, and you can do it in an Excel spreadsheet, but I think the problem had like you have like an outer square plate being held at like 0 volts and an inner square plate being held at 100 volts. And if you like um discretize this, you can you can set each point to be the average of its neighbors, and that gives you an approximation for the voltage at each point. And the reason that works is because of the mean value property for harmonic functions. Because if U is harmonic, then you can write U at any point as the average of as like the average value of all the points around it in some ball. I want to say that I actually did it at some point. I might have had to like come back to it. I don't want to say I did it in Python. Did it Reddit? Yeah. Like 2 years ago, but yeah. So yeah, and so my professor was to try and explain like this, he was talking about something called like the circle game, where if you have some arbitrary domain that U was defined on, and you're shooting the value at this point here, and let's say that like this section of domain has value 10, the section from here to here has value 5, and the section around here has 0. You can basically like do random walks starting from this point and eventually ending up on or very close to the boundary. And so like on this random walk I hit the 10, but then on another one I might hit the 5, another one I might hit the 0. And if you keep on doing that over and over again and recording what like value you get, the average of that is going to eventually tell you the value at that point there. And that's just like, it's just like a generalized version of the relaxation method. So yeah, when I made that connection in my head, I was in class and I was like, that's so cool. Feynman CAC. Yeah, I think I have that even written down in my notebook. So yeah, like his name for it is the circle game. He said like the better known term for this is the stochastic interpretation, but he definitely mentioned Feynman CAC. Yeah, turns out Laplace's equation, like, it looks simple, but it's so deep. We haven't even learned, like, and we've only like scratched the surface of it so far too. Oh, really? God bless Paul. I'm surprised he has complex variable stuff. So in algebra? No? Oh, nice. I didn't know Paul, dude. Paul is the best. Is there anything Paul doesn't do besides PDEs? Man, I would love to have a puzzle line notes for PDEs. That would be a big help to me right now. This is not even in the tree. Oh, it's right there. I just never even saw it. Huh. How to study math? I never looked at this. People ask me questions like this all the time, and I don't know how to answer them because there's not much to do besides just doing math for yourself. I feel like I'm being lectured. Listen during class. Oh, hell yeah, Echo. This got me through my first calculus class. This is kind of generic. And it's a lot. I don't know if I'm a fan of this, kind of like write up, but question your instructor. Where were you on the night of April 5th, 1997? Frequency is so much different than mine. Probably. Like, I never even had the opportunity to take IB classes. I just had AP. Kyle Katarn, math terrifies you? No worries. Hello, welcome in. I do also game sometimes. If there's anything about math that you want to talk about, please do let me know. I don't think I'm accomplishing it right now with my stream, but it is a goal of mine to make math more approachable for people. Unfortunately, right now I'm a math master's student, and a lot of live streaming is my homework, and so there's very terrifying looking things that happen on stream all the time like this. But it's not what I want the stream to be only about. So welcome in. If you ever have anything you want to talk about, please do let me know. Skirtle, you need a safe male streamer. Please say I'm normal. I don't know. I never felt normal in my life, Skirtle. I'm at least orthogonal to most surfaces. That's true. I'm being orthogonal to the ground right now. Thanks for the lurk, Fembucks. I mean, APS similar. I think so too. But yeah, so not to overwhelm you potentially more than I already have. Me attempting R is more terrifying than math. True. But there's a whole niche of people on Twitch who stream math. And so even if there's something about my style that you don't like, I'm not the only one out there who does this. So I don't expect you to go through and follow every last person on this list, but like someone like Math Spellbook is a great person. Just if you want to see someone else's like journey through math, he streams himself studying, and it's cool to hear him like talk through how he thinks about problems, and the stuff he does is a lot more approachable than what's on the screen right now. I don't know if he's still doing them, but e to the 2I pi in that list at least was doing specific days where only like basic algebra is allowed, and I really appreciate that he was doing those. He might still do those, I'm not sure. Yeah. Thanks for even saying hi. A lot of people hear that I like math and they just don't even want to talk to me. So thank you for not being like that. Rank from least to most terrifying. Don does art. Don does rap. Don speaks another language. I'm trying to figure out if I agree with that list or if there's anything I would add. I never rapped. I never rapped in my life. I definitely have sung though, and that is pretty terrifying. I take offense that Don speaks another language is the most terrifying. I don't disagree that it's true, but I do wish it wasn't true. That's why it's fair enough, Skirtle. According to Reddit, take it with a grain of salt. IB is more diverse, has IB theater and stuff. AP is better if you're going to U.S. college, university. IB accepted worldwide. Right. Curriculums are significantly different. The way they teach is way different. Fair enough. Yeah, I know it's not IB, but I've had a fair amount of uh oh my, what are they called? A levels in the UK. Further maths. And those questions I can do them, but they're a lot different from how Americans are tested. Oh yeah, Skirtle, that's because other people were speaking Spanish in the chat. I wanted to blend in. I do wish I could speak Spanish. I probably won't ever get there, but I do wish I could for what it's worth. Americans when bilingual. It will be a stretch to call me bilingual. You will travel far and wide for both business and pleasure. I know you've already traveled far and wide. I don't know for what purpose, I guess, but it's not bad. It's I don't know. Yeah, I won't say it's not a bad fortune, but it's not really telling the future. I also don't know if it's the same for AP, but IB exams give you credit for that specific class in university if you get a 4 above. Yeah, it depends on the university. Some will give you different some have different like grade requirements. But yeah, that's how it works in for AP classes too. For AP, usually 3 is the minimum. Sometimes they go as high as 4 or 5 though, and 5 is the maximum. Oh, have you got that one before, Stuki? There's like 2,000 fortunes. I'm surprised that there's been a repeat. It's gonna happen eventually though. I never considered that for the longest time in my life. But if English is your native language, the incentive to learn other languages is pretty low. It is. Especially because like Americans don't travel much. That makes it even worse. But I grew up in California, and I've always heard a lot of Spanish in my life, and that's what made me like just like kind of enjoy it as a language. It's so annoying this is H and not H prime, because otherwise we'd have a cancellation. Well, not entirely. I shouldn't be too annoyed. Everything will just be tickety boo today. Tickety boo? Wait, you can exchange fortunes? I feel like that's how you get cursed. How is this like? This apparently is going to equal 0. Do smoke bombs work for curses? Okay. Okay, can I make this Wolfram Alpha's problem? That would be great. Let me see. Um, you know, this would be a good time to break out Mathematica because I've been having to learn for one of my classes. I don't feel like it though. Americans travel much. Meanwhile, the Americans drive across the whole damn continent for family gathering. Well, yeah, but you're still in the same country that still speaks English. But yeah, we do enjoy our very long drives. I mean, usually across the whole country, it's like a 5-day trip, so we don't usually do across the whole country, but basically. Probably need to tell Wolfram Alpha y is a function of x. Yeah, I don't like driving for a prolonged amount of time either. Um, although I think our definition of prolonged amount of time is probably different. Brother. I but yeah, I didn't used to, but I've started to find driving just kind of stressful. And so the longer I drive, the more time I spend stressed out. So that makes it like tiring to me. It does drive me crazy. Um okay, what if I make your life simpler, Wolfram? What if I get rid of that? I can even get rid of this. No, not partial derivative. I've met people who their commute uh like one way just going to work is like an hour and a half or something. And I've heard of people who have like stupidly long commutes, like more than that even. So, oh, I could never do it, but people do. Hello, hello, 787. Are these parametric form differentiation? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Um, basically, uh, I'm not sure if you know what this means, but I'm in a calculus of variations class, and what you often have to do is you have some expression involving x's and then like a y of x and also maybe a y prime, just some like mixture of x's, y's of x's, and y primes. And you need to calculate different derivatives of expressions like this. So maybe derivative with respect to x, and you have to worry about the chain rule a bunch, or derivative just with respect to like y prime, and you kind of ignore the other parts. Um, I hope that answers your question. You like those purple lights. Ooh. Oh my god, I'm getting hungry and tired. Um, all right, let's just base tank this derivative, I guess. Is there any real using log or different function? Oh yeah. So I'm doing something that's different, but I think I know what you're talking about. If you like a case where logs are helpful is something like if you have like x plus 1 squared times x minus 1, maybe divided by x plus 3 cubed, just for fun. And they ask you to take the derivative of this, it will be a giant pain. Oh wait, maybe you could be talking about a different thing too. Okay, I'll describe both things. If you have this situation and you're being asked to find the derivative of y, like dy by dx, or y prime, instead of calculating this derivative directly, you can take the logarithm of both sides. Ln of that thing. But then logarithms have nice properties that let you simplify this. So if you use the properties enough, you get 2 ln x plus 1 plus ln x minus 1 minus 3 ln x plus 3. And this is way easier to find the derivative. Go to sleep 7:50? I should. It's only 6 p.m. here, but I'm a tired boy. But you might also mean a different thing that's called separation of variables, which is if you have let's say like y times y prime is equal to x squared or something. Or sometimes we write it like dy by dx for this specifically. Depending on how depending on how much you care about uh, being theoretically correct in math, some people multiply each side by dx. It's not correct to do this, but it gives you the right answer. And so you get something like y dy is equal to x squared dx, and then you can integrate each side. So now I think about it more, you probably mean this. And I'm not doing that, but it's not too far off from what I am doing. It's maybe a little bit more advanced than that, but it's in the same kind of like realm of math, I would say. Yeah, welcome in. If you have anything you want to talk about, please do let me know. I see that Visai just posted something in the Discord. Has anyone in chat ever integrated with respect to British Columbia? That is hilarious. Yeah, no, but that's so funny how Wolfram Alpha interprets that. You're integrating the quadratic formula too. That raises more questions. Or no, yeah. Oh my god. British Columbia. That's a hell of a variable. You know, this like, how is British Columbia shaped? Like, it'd be funny to start like just like draw the shape of British Columbia and use that as a variable. Remember when you've done differentiation, the minimum, maximum, double differentiation, integration, differentiation equation? Okay, nice, nice. Yeah, that sounds like Calc 1 and Calc 2, which is a good time. And yeah, if you don't use it, you definitely lose it. When I've been streaming for 3 years and a few months now, but when I started my stream, I hadn't done math in like probably 5 years. And I remember the struggle of like learning calculus again. Or wait, yeah, like 5 years. Hey, Plasma, Voodoo, true. The math quiz with BC in it. I think you should. Jordan, calculus a bit yourself someday. Fair enough. Math, but God, is it hard to figure out? It is. There's just some things that are so freaking cool that it makes it worth it. I don't want to do this derivative because I feel like I'm doing it wrong. Kind of fangirling over intervals. uh, Integrals. That's fair. Um, that's not the part of calculus that I would fangirl over, but I respect it. No, I've had people give me Putnam problems, and I think they're terrible, and they're out of my wheelhouse, and I've never actually done one. And when I say terrible, I mean like traumatic, not like poorly made. If you understand math or you die hating it, nothing in between. Ugh. Or both. That's the Grothendieck like a plot line. You like math somewhat. That's fair. I'm not sure I've heard that either. People, but yeah, I guess at the same time, people usually say they hate math because they had some sort of story about a fucked up teacher that they had who was legitimately a terrible teacher. And I feel like if it wasn't for that traumatic experience, they would have a better opinion of math. Do you ever really understand math? I sure feel like I never do. I think I could solve every millennium problem that gives you $1 million and still feel like I don't know shit about math. Some psychopaths decide to collaborate unknowingly. I understand it's. I don't understand that's why I hate it. You really won't want to do, so I'll try. Hey, fair enough. We do use hate as a synonym for like not liking, which I kind of just did with Plasma's question. Not with the word hate exactly, but basically. Yeah, if I haven't said already, hello. If you have anything you want to like ask me about, please do let me know. I guess you already did with like the derivative stuff, but if there's anything else too. The crazy math teacher, fortunately, I was on good terms with her from the get go. Same with Chem. Noish. Oh my god, I think I'm crashing. I might need to call it because I just feel like I've hit the wall where I can't think and I really want to eat. Games I do were crazy. Comparing students against one another was insane. Oh, that's terrible. Where from they teach good level calculus to school students. Math period is a nightmare. Oh god, yeah. If everyone has to do it, that'd be pretty traumatic. Comparing students against one another. That sounds like a terrible teacher. I do think I'm gonna wrap up the stream though here. I don't want to cut up anyone's thoughts, but I think I should go eat food and not think for like a little bit. We'll look for a raid too. But yeah, I'm kind of, you stream up here. Somebody's here on YouTube. Thanks for being here.